Welcome to the reading of the Noble Eightfold Path. In the previous chapter, we read about chapter 4.43. We read about abstaining from that which is not given. And that which is not given is, and if you take that which is not given, is called, in simple words, stealing. And we spoke quite extensively about the extent of that which is not given, abstaining from it. We also spoke abstaining from sexual misconduct. And we went into quite a lot of detail regarding the different aspects of abstaining and the different aspects of behavior when it comes to sexual conduct and sexual misconduct. So worthwhile going over that chapter, which was a previous one. We will today embark on chapter 4.44, Right Livelihood. Sama Ajiva. Sama Ajiva is the Pali word for right livelihood. And so, we proceed. Right livelihood is concerned with ensuring that one earns one's living in a righteous way. For a lay person or a lay disciple, the Buddha teaches that wealth should be gained in accordance with certain standards. One should acquire it only by legal means, not illegally. One should acquire it peacefully, without coercion or violence. This is the advice of the Buddha. One should acquire it honestly, not by trickery or deceit. One should acquire it in ways which do not entail harm and suffering for others. The Buddha goes into a lot of detail on how we need to acquire our living, how we need to conduct ourselves. The Buddha mentions 5 specific kinds of livelihood which bring harm to others and are therefore to be avoided. The 5. I will talk of the 5. The Buddha mentions 5 specific kinds of livelihood which bring harm to others and are therefore to be avoided. Dealing with weapons. In living beings, including raising animals for slaughter, as well as slave trade and prostitution. These are livelihoods that are forbidden by the Buddha. And his recommendations are not to get involved in any of these types of livelihoods. In meat production and butchery, because the production of meat is the killing of animals. To acquire meat, you need to kill an animal. The Buddha is deadly against the destruction of life. In poisons, the poisons are also, well, they destroy life. Poisons kill animals. Poisons kill insects. Buddha says, not a good idea. Bad karma. And intoxicants. Alcohol, drugs, whatever. Those intoxicants are dangerous to humans. They take you away from reality. They cause your mind to, intoxicants make your mind to wander, to be scattered, unfocused. That's the reason there's a law against drink driving in many countries. If you drink drive, you'll go to jail. If you get caught, you'll go to jail. You'll get prosecuted. So, Buddha 2500 years ago advised us not to indulge in any intoxicant. Because the Buddha knows in depth what the effect of intoxicants are. Today we have drugs. We have many types of drugs that affect the thinking of human beings, the control of our lives, are totally lost. Control is totally lost with intoxicants. So we go on. He further names several dishonest means of gaining wealth which fall under wrong livelihood: practicing deceit, treachery, soothsaying, trickery and usury. Trickery and usury. These things go on all the time by different individuals all over the world. Obviously, any occupation that requires violation of right speech and right action is a wrong form of livelihood. But other occupations such as selling weapons or intoxicants may not violate those factors and yet be wrong because of their consequences for others. The consequence of the act of selling intoxicants or selling weapons, weapons of war, weapons of destruction, Buddha says it's not a good idea, because consequently they're going to destroy life. They're going to take life. They're made to destroy life. Intoxicants are also detrimental to humans. The Buddha is very clear, very clear. 2,500 years ago, he was very clear on the effect of this means of livelihood. The Thai treatise discusses the positive aspects of right livelihood under the three convenient headings of rightness and regarding actions: rightness regarding persons, the rightness regarding objects, rightness regarding actions. Means that workers should fulfill their duties diligently and conscientiously, not idling away time, claiming to have worked longer hours than they did, or pocketing the company's goods. This advice. This is the advice received by the Thai treatise. A certain patriarch had set down these treaties, these understandings. That workers should work diligently for their boss, for their employer. They should not be idle. They should put a fair amount of effort into the jobs that they have, into the employment that they have. They should not be dishonest about the time they're spending on the job, idling away time. It's a form of stealing, in the form of inaccurate conduct. And if you're going to be making a living by being idle on the job, then that's not a good livelihood. What's so good about that level? What's so good about earning money, working for an employer, and being idle, wasting time, dishonestly, and recording hours that you never really worked. You've only been present at the job, but you've never really done anything. I know a lot of people that do that. They book the overtime and they don't really work. Some of them even go for a break, extended break. Some of them even start late and go home early. Yeah, this happens all the time. The dishonest way of earning a living. The Buddha calls it a dishonest livelihood. And so, an employer, for example, should assign his workers chores according to their ability, pay them adequately, promote them when they deserve a promotion, and give them occasional vacations and bonuses. Well, there's a certain responsibility for an employer as well, to look after his workers, to look after his employees, pay them a fair wage, give them a bonus, give them time off, give them fair treatment, pay them when they're sick, pay them on public holidays, have a great time, enjoy yourself. I'll pay you for it. Employer does that. And it's mandatory in Australia and many other countries. Have a holiday. I'll give you 20 days of leave a year with full pay. And what I'll do on top of it is I'll also give you some superannuation on top of it. Another 10% for your retirement. How good? How good for employees in Australia? Are you an employee in Australia? Well, come to Australia. It's a great place. And you get looked after, both by the government and the employers. Colleagues should try to cooperate rather than compete. Colleagues, people that you work alongside with, should try to cooperate rather than compete, while merchants should be equitable in their dealings with customers. Yeah? There's responsibility on both sides, for workers and employers and companies doing business. They should be fair and equitable. Rightness regarding objects means that in business transactions and sales, the articles to be sold should be presented truthfully. No shonky business when you sell anything. That you're giving the right quality for the money that's being paid for the product. That you're not underselling. That your quality is of good quality. Yeah, like the fresh food people. They always maintain a very high level of fresh food for their customers. The fresh food people, I think you know who I'm talking about in Australia. They have a very high standard. They have a very high quality management system, ensuring that their customers receive the highest quality of product for their money. There should be no deceptive advertising, misrepresentations of quality or quantity, or dishonest maneuvers. That happens too. That happens quite a bit actually. That there's deceptive advertising. Companies advertise to say that a product is of a certain quality, but when you receive the product, it's of inferior quality. And that's gross misrepresentation of what a company is selling. And that happens quite often too. Luckily, we live in a great democracy in Australia, and we receive fair treatment. And we also receive government assistance and surveillance of what's sold, what's advertised, and the quality of what is received by the people buying the product. So, that brings us to the end of the reading on right livelihood, Sama Ajiva. I hope you enjoyed the reading. I hope you enjoyed listening to this reading as much as I've enjoyed reading it. There are many points of knowledge within this very short section, but worth remembering and worth conducting your life to, aligning yourself to it. If you feel slightly misaligned, well, this is a good guide in getting yourself back into alignment to the Buddha's teaching, which we received some 2,500 years ago. Buddha knew about so many things, about drugs, about alcohol. Yeah? The Buddha knew about all these things. The Buddha knew about the killing of animals, consuming animals that have been killed. Yeah? The Buddha knew that that type of vocation, or that a job or a business in earning a livelihood doing that is detrimental to life, of selling equipment used in war to kill other human beings. The Buddha said, refrain from that type of vocation or that type of livelihood. So there we go. There's a lot of knowledge. There's a lot of wisdom in Buddha's words here. So until next time, if you've enjoyed listening to this reading as much as I've enjoyed reading it to you, please subscribe to my channel. And in the meanwhile, until we meet again and we embark on Right Effort, Chapter 5, very interesting. Right Effort talks about the purification of conduct. Right effort. Make the right effort. Not the wrong effort. Make the right effort. So that's Chapter 5. Very interesting, of the Noble Eightfold Path. So until we meet again, have a great day and stay safe.